Yeah. No, I was just showing my friend over here on my Apple Watch how I beat you 3-0 last week. Hey, you see this? I know, it's crazy.
Guys, we are here for the Smackdown recap, and if you guys liked our last video with Driz literally beating me 3-0 on guessing the superstars for Guess Who, well, I lost. But we have something packed for next week, but it's time. I think it's time. Alright, let's see what Driz has to say.
Yeah. No, I was just showing my friend over here on my Apple Watch how I beat you 3-0 last week. Hey, you see this? I know, it's crazy. Yeah, guys, we are here for the October 11th recap of Friday Night Smackdown. Uh, Drex, I know you wanted me to kick it off, but as loser of last episode, I think you have to kick it off.
Bruh. Well, alright. To start the show, we get Jimmy Uso returning back to SmackDown, actually on the show and not getting beat. But we'll get to that a little later. But we have Jimmy cut a promo talking about how he wants to be by himself. But then we get our one and only, the OTC. Put the ones up. Put the ones up. Not the Roman Empire. That's the OTC.
Oh,
So he comes out. He cuts a promo as well. They're talking with each other. And at the last second, they go, yeah, we need help. We're outnumbered right now. Because Cody's doing his own thing with Kevin Owens now. And that pretty much kicked off the show. And people are thinking it's going to be Sammy for right now. And then it could be Jay. But what do you think? What do you think, Chris?
yeah, I honestly think that one of the best lines from that segment is when Jimmy turned to Roman and said, "You are a chief with no tribe right now." And
Mm-hmm. I
obviously
agree.
we'll get into the main event later on in this episode, but just honestly, just a heartwarming uh promo. Really was great to see Jimmy Uso back on Friday Night SmackDown. Nice to hear his theme song, which is not good as it's not as good as Jay's, let's be honest. I've said that since the beginning, but with the crowd chanting "Yeet" and Roman Reigns turned to Jimmy and said "No Yeet," uh,
Bruh.
yeah, I think Roman still does have a little beef with Jimmy. Or sorry, Jay.
With Jay,
And
I
what do you think,
know. It's
Drex?
so sad. It's really so sad. But we could be getting. Yo, you just lagged really hard. That's crazy. It was a lag yeet. But no, I really kind of see eventually, say, if they team up at Survivor Series, right? Just thoughts. Imagine they do. They win and Jay's on the team. Imagine we get Roman yeeting, basically him acknowledging Jay. Dude, fire.
Also, what I was thinking
Fire.
too is, what if they? And this is the last thing we'll say about this little intro because we want to keep this video short. But what if they leave it to like how it was last year, where Randy Orton was the fifth member, but he didn't show up on time? So
Yep.
maybe Roman puts out the call to Jay, and then maybe later down the match, Jay answers the call as the last participant of Roman's team,
Exactly. Because they could get
kind of
Zilla to
like how
come in.
kind of like how Randy did.
They could have Zilla
I
come
still don't
in.
think it's going to be him. I think he's still got some. He's going to be in NXT when he eventually does come in, and he does definitely need some training before he's on main event TV.
That's true. But freaking Tamatanga
But
doesn't? Or Tongaloa? Come on. Bruh.
well, Tongaloa is a meme, but he's also like he's a veteran though. Like he's older and he's
That's true.
been in the I mean he ran New Japan with Tamatanga.
Yeah, that's
So
true. Alright.
I
Let's move
mean
on to the next
that's kind
segment.
of it.
I'll let you take off with this middle part.
Yeah, I definitely say the next segment we should probably talk about is the title defense, LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes. Mr.
Yeah. L. A.
LA Knight.
Night. Yeah.
Yeah. LA Knight picks up the win against Carmelo Hayes. Definitely would have to give some thanks to Andrade. Andrade did cause some distraction to both superstars actually, so
Yeah.
but it does look like we are it doesn't look like we are going to get game 7 Mello versus Andrade.
Yeah.
As my light goes off, it wouldn't be a 5v5 video if my light didn't go off, but we are going to get game 7, and winner of that will get another US title match, which I mean These two guys are just getting title match after title match after title match after title match. But no one's gonna beat the LA Knight. No one's gonna beat LA Knight. LA Knight is forever champ, right, Drex?
Yeah, I hope so. I
But
really hope so.
with that being a set aside, Drex, let's go more into this game 7. Who do you got? Who do you got winning this series?
Andrade.
I could see it being Andrade. I mean, this was a beautiful series. Andrade went up early. I'm pretty sure Andrade was up like 3-1, or he was up 3-2, or I don't know.
Three. Yeah, he was
Andrade
up
was
3-2.
up. Andrade was up. Melo forces a game 7. Just honestly, I've liked this. No one's really talked about this at all, but I've liked this whole game 7 series, series of 7,
Mhm.
especially with the MLB playoffs, and obviously Melo's whole thing is him not missing and him being a baller. So like I think this is honestly sick. I've liked this whole. It's not even a trilogy, whatever, just best of 7. I've
Yeah.
loved this honestly, and I knew since day 1 when they said Melo leads 1-0, I think it was Andrade won game 1 where it said Andrade leads 1-0. I'm like, they're gonna do a 7-game series, and I'm here for it, and I was here for it.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, anything you want to add on to that, or would you just
No,
rather
you
jump
covered
in?
it all. I think you covered it all.
Yeah, I'll let Drex more lead this one because he hasn't talked much. But Drex, I wanted to get your opinion on not only Naomi versus Nia Jax, but I want to get your more opinion on what happened during that match and who was at SmackDown this week.
So basically, Nia Jax wins her match. It was a pretty decent match. Versus
No, no,
no.
Nia Jax did not win. Naomi won.
Oh, it wasn't. I forgot it wasn't a title match. But we all see Liv Morgan comes with Dom, and then we hear, "I eat, sleep, bleed," and freaking everyone loses it. Or sorry, I just botched it. Whatever.
You did just botch it, but it's okay. Let's get past it.
Whatever. So she comes out. She kicks Nia Jax with one leg, with one hand on Liv. That was crazy. That was it was so good. And then freaking she tries to get her, and then they just basically leave. It's just showing that what I think is gonna happen at Crown Jewel is Tiffy's gonna cash in. They're gonna move on, but then Rhea's gonna interrupt the match by hel- helping Nia. Not really, but she's just going for Liv. It was just showing that their rivalry is gonna keep going, and it doesn't matter where she's at. Rhea's gonna go there. So
Yeah. I think tonight's SmackDown, obviously, we got teased that Nia Jax at least wants Tiffany Stratton to cash in on Liv Morgan. But
yep.
at the end of the day, I think I think Tiffany is going to eventually cash in on Nia Jax.
I agree.
But with that being said, before we get to our main event, something I forgot that I think actually happened before the whole Nia Jax and Naomi match. Uh, Legado del Fantasma, the tag team, um, have a match next week where if they win, they'll get a tag team championship match. And it was not rumored, but it was Nick Aldis said it's going to be a new tag team. Uh, Drex, we can only imagine this is going to be the Motor City Machine
City.
Guns. What do you think
Yep.
of this, man?
I really hope they win that match. I've actually watched a little bit of tape on them from their indie shows and all sorts of stuff like that. I think they're going to be a pretty good tag team and actually can put up something. Not with the Bloodline eventually, but like just building up their name and their hype so then they get the crowd behind them. Kind of like, I don't even know what tag
Yeah.
team does that on SmackDown right now.
No, the MCMG is what I like to call them because
Yeah.
sometimes I'll botch the Motor City Machine Guns. Uh, they are a hell of a tag team. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
If we eventually can get MCMG versus the Usos,
Oh.
that would be insane.
Mm-hmm.
MCMG versus, like, these are just dream matches. Like, if we ever got another Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn reunion, that would be a hell of a match.
Yeah.
MCMG versus the Street Profits. Like, you got so many possibilities here just because of how good of a tag team Motor City Machine Guns are. And eventually, if the Lucha Bros does come to WWE, they got their time extended on their contract in AEW right now.
Stupid.
MCMG versus the Lucha Bros. Like, come on. Like, we have the tag division is on the up right now, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, we could go to the main event where it was Big Jim Uso versus Solo Sikoa. Little brother Solo versus Big brother Jim. Uh, and you know what? For Jimmy's first match back, I think he put on a hell of a show. Drex, do
He
you want to
did.
comment on that?
I would say it was definitely a 4 out of 5 match. He definitely put up moves that we all thought he was really hurt based off of Rikishi's message he put on Twitter about praying for Jimmy, but he looked pretty fine. He looked back into ring shape and everything, and he looked pretty good for me. But what upset me was him losing the match and then the bloodline coming out and then the OTC comes back out and then nobody helps them. But let me add to this. After the show, we had freaking Jey Uso come out and face Braun Breaker for a dark match. Like, why couldn't you have him come in? Unless it's story-wise that he comes in later, like we just mentioned earlier. Well, I don't know. But also, we didn't mention Kevin Owens attacked Randy Orton backstage. I'll let you get into that.
Yeah, Kevin
Just real
Owens.
quick.
Real quick, Kevin Owens would get punched in the mouth earlier in the night by Randy Orton when Kevin would interrupt the show, which would which would hold back the women's tag team championship match that Jade and Bianca Belair would win against Lash Legend and I don't know the other one, to be honest. I just know Lash Legend. If anyone knows the other person's name,
I
I'm
don't.
sorry, I don't have it with me. I know they're from the Metaphor,
Yeah.
so Jade and Bianca take down the two women of Metaphor. Uh, but before that, Kevin Owens would come in the ring and basically just security came out, and then eventually Cody would come out, and then separated by security. Randy would come down, try to be the problem solver, would get in the ring, and then would get punched or hit by Kevin Owens, which would obviously then, if you hit the Viper, you're going to get hit back.
Oh, yeah.
Which eventually would lead to Randy Orton wanting to talk to Kevin backstage, and when they eventually cut to backstage, it was them two fighting.
Yeah.
So it does look like Randy is going to stay with Cody for at least the time being.
Until their match is done. But
Yes.
that was our quick recap of SmackDown. And if you guys have any thoughts, comments, or whatever, please comment down below. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll see you guys on Monday or Tuesday for the Monday Night Raw recap. We'll see you guys.
See ya.